Does your toddler melt down every single time you say no? Here's the truth. It's not bad behavior like we're often told. It's actually a gap. Nobody's taught them the words for that huge feeling yet, and a gap like this only gets bigger the longer you wait. So, in this video, I'll give you a simple 3-step way to fill it in the small moments before the meltdown, not during. I'm Cherie, former teacher and a mom who started my motherhood journey over after 13 years. These simple 3 steps will make the tantrum shorter, fewer, and a lot less lonely and frustrating for the both of you. Okay, so let's hop into it. Let me paint the scene for you that I know you have lived because I lived it. It's the end of the day and you are running on empty. Dinner's half made, you're tired, you've worked all day, and then it hits. Maybe you said no to a snack before dinner. Maybe you cut the toast wrong. Maybe you handed them the blue cup when today apparently it had to be a green one. Maybe the block tower fell and the whole world ended. And just like that, screaming, waterworks, falling on the floor, all of the works, and somewhere in the middle of it, that quiet thought creeps in. What am I doing wrong? And then another thought creep in. What in the world is going on? And listen, I want to stop you right there and say something because I mean it. You are not doing anything wrong. I spent years as a teacher watching this exact moment and watching good, loving parents walk away from it sure they failed somehow. But the truth is, they hadn't, and neither have you. Your toddler isn't broken, and neither are you. There's just a gap that most people don't talk about. Your child has this giant feeling and has no words for it, no way to handle it yet. And listen, a daycare with 12 kids can't stop and fill that one gap for your child. That's not what the room is built for. It's the gap only you and us as parents can fill. And that is our homework. And here's the part that I'll be honest with you about because it's actually very personal to me. I've learned the hard way that a gap you leave alone doesn't stay small. It grows and grows and gets bigger. I missed one with my own older daughter once and told myself, listen, she'll be fine. She'll catch up. They'll catch it. And what actually could have been a quick fix turned into years of catching up, and a kid who started to doubt herself. And I don't want that for you. So we're catching this one now while it's still small. So we went through the version that you've already lived, the version of the meltdown of no. But let's picture another version, a version that's actually possible. Let's say this version is the same kid that has the same big feelings, and you've actually spent a few minutes here and there filling that gap. And one day you'll tell them no, and instead of melting, they'll stop and reach for a word. Mad, sad, some little half version of frustrated. Only you can understand. And you're going to feel it because you realize your baby just didn't handle something hard. That's not a small thing. That's the very beginning of a kid who grows up believing they can handle the hard things. And you gave them that. You played a part in that. So here's the gap plainly. And when your toddler hears no, a giant wave hits them. But they don't have what you and I have. They don't have the words to name it and the actual practice to ride that wave out. So we need to feel it. And we feel it before the meltdown in small, calm moments. We don't feel this gap in the middle of the storm when nobody can think straight anyway. Everybody's overwhelmed. We're all frustrated and, quite frankly, annoyed. And so, listen, we actually need these 3 steps in order to fill these gaps. So, The first step is we need to name the feeling. When your kid hits a small frustration, you say it for them. You're frustrated, or you're mad, or you're sad that the block won't stay up. You're not fixing the feeling. You're giving the feeling a name so it's actually less scary for them. Next, the next step is you're going to give the words. You hand them the language they don't have yet. You can say, I'm frustrated. Teeny one phrase. That's what you're going to do. You're going to give them the word or the small phrase. Now, don't go up there and be like, for your toddler, oh, you're frustrated because the whole block fell down and da da da. No, listen, that's very overwhelming. They can't process that, but they can process, I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm frustrated. One teeny phrase, one word. Give them the words. Then the next, you're going to actually practice when everything is calm. And listen, this is the key. You do this in the little everyday moments. Don't do it in the middle of the meltdown. I mean, that's only going to be very frustrating for you and the child, and you're going to forget everything that you've learned, every technique that you were supposed to apply. No, not in the middle, but actually practice when everyone is calm. So the toast, the cup, the tower that fell, all of those teeny frustrations across the day are your practice. That's where the gap quietly gets filled. And honestly, the easy way to teach a feeling word is to let them catch you using your own words, okay? So it may be like, ugh, mommy is so frustrated this jar won't open. Let me take a breath. You're actually modeling it for them. They learn so much more from watching you just be human than any other, listen, sit down lesson or flashcards. And real talk, parent to parent, when you first start naming these little feelings, that first week it's going to feel like you talking to a wall. You're going to feel a little silly, to be honest, because we're not used to just naming the feelings. Why? Because the gap is already filled for us. So, but we're trying to fill it for them. So we need to name the feelings. And yes, you're going to feel a little silly. You are. That's just part of it. It's going to be like talking to a wall. Like none of this is landing. They're going to be looking at you, and you can hear they blink, blink, blink. But keep going anyway, because one ordinary day, something small will go wrong. And instead of melting, your toddler look up at you and try the word, and you'll realize it was seeking in the whole time. That right there is the gap filling in. That's the small, quiet win that changes everything. So, listen, if this is helping you, my free guide is Stop the Guessing 5 Things to Teach Your Toddler to Fill the Gap. Shows you which gaps are worth catching and filling so you always know where to look. Click the link in the description. I made it exactly for the parent who's lying awake wondering if they're doing enough. So let's hop back into it. Here's what filling this really does, okay? So do this for a few weeks and the meltdowns get shorter because your kid reaches for words instead of reaching for the floor. Your evenings get softer. You stop standing in the store aisles whispering, please not now. We all have that mother whisper. And look, here's what it's actually about, and it's so much bigger than tantrums. Down the road, this is the difference between a kid who can sit in a classroom and ride a hard moment and the one who gets labeled, who gets sent home, and they're told they're just too much and they need behavior interventions in the long run. It's the difference between a child who believes they can handle their feelings and then one who's afraid of them. You're not just ending meltdowns, you're building the person your kid is becoming. And you're doing it right now in your kitchen, one feeling at a time. And now let me be honest, okay? Because I don't want to sell you a fairy tale. This is not a meltdown off switch. Toddlers meltdown. That's the age. That's their job. And some days are just going to be harder than others. What this does is fill the gap so they will start reaching for the words more and more over time. And that is the honest win. And it's a real win. So again, we need to name the feeling, give the word, practice when calm. That's how you're going to fill this gap. So here's your move starting today. Next time your child hits a small frustration, like the tower fell, the shoe won't go on, you cut the sandwich wrong, they wanted to shut the door themselves and you beat them to it, don't fix it. Don't rush past it. And name you're frustrated. You wanted to do it yourself. And once today, let them catch you naming your own feelings. Mommy's frustrated. I'm going to take a breath. Mommy's sad. I need a minute. That's the whole thing. And here's your win. A couple of weeks from now, in the middle of an ordinary day, your kid will pause or try a word instead of dropping to the floor. And it's going to knock the wind out of you a little bit because you'll know you did that. You did that. You fill the gap no one else could. Here's something that fools almost every parent. Your toddler can have almost everything down and still keep missing one specific thing, one number, one letter. And listen, most parents make it worse by trying to reteach the whole thing. I'll show you how to fill that one gap fast. Go ahead and click it, and I'll see you there.